I'm going to give her
Recording
just
in
a second
progress.
to settle in. The April 22nd, 2026 meeting of the Greenville County Planning Commission is hereby called to order. At today's meeting, we will review rezoning applications, subdivision applications, and other items brought to us by staff. Unless the commission members have a question for the applicant, we will not accept additional public comment on the rezoning applications. The rezoning cases were presented at a public hearing, and that was the opportunity to hear public comments in favor of or in opposition to the rezoning cases. At today's meeting, the commission will be making its recommendation on the rezoning cases. Detailed information on each of the cases was provided to us in our electronic agenda package in advance of this meeting. Our recommendations will be forwarded to County Council's Planning and Development Committee for their consideration and decision. The subdivision matters we will review today were previously reviewed by the Subdivision Advisory Committee. At that meeting, the reviewing agencies presented their preliminary findings to staff. Based on comments from the Subdivision Advisory Committee, along with a review of applicable sections of the ordinance, staff has prepared recommended conditions of approval or denial for each preliminary plat. These recommendations were provided to the Planning Commission as part of its review of each request. Anyone wishing to address the Commission on subdivision matters should have signed up to speak. Again, you cannot address the Commission during this meeting on rezoning request. The official public hearing on these cases has already been held. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting, and Mr. Hammond is going to do our invocation for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please let us bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for granting us safe travel here today, and please grant us safe travel to everyone here home. Thank you for letting us live in a free country where we can discuss items at our will and open, and let us use our ears and our mouths in the proportion of which you attach them to our heads. Amen.
Thank you. Let us hit the button on our mic before we speak. He didn't pick up on it. It was? Okay. Sorry. All right, our minutes of our last month's meeting has some amendments per Ms. Phillips' request. Is everyone in agreement to your amendments? You okay with them?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting
Mr.
with
Chairman.
amendments?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for approving the minutes as submitted and adjusted.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Holland. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Holland has a first. Who had it down there? Oh, Ms. Phillips has a second. What's wrong with that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're going to change something up on the rezoning request. We're going to change number 23. It'll follow number 17. Does anybody have a problem with that? Since it's the same applicant?
Makes sense to me. Get them home for supper sooner.
All righty, Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Chairman, also before you are two staff reports for dockets 20 and 22. Just so you know, those we found a couple of minor errors in those today. We corrected those and just want to provide you an updated, correct version. So
right.
That's what that's for.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. The following is a brief explanation of the Planning Commission process to consider rezoning cases. Each docket will be presented, including the requested zoning, specific details of the site, as well as maps and photos of the site and surrounding area. The presentation will conclude with the staff recommendation. Staff recommendation is a result of feedback from a team of internal and external county stakeholders who review each case. After each presentation, the Planning Commission may either vote with or against staff's recommendation, in addition to offering any additional amendments to the recommendation. All items forwarded from today's meeting will be heard by the Planning and Development Committee in person in the committee room in the North Building, which is scheduled for May 4th at 5 p.m. The first docket is CZ-2026-017. The property is located at 102 Bowling Road in Greenville. The applicant is Francis Bishop. The 0.3 acre subject property consists of a portion of one parcel and is located approximately 1.3 miles southwest of the intersection of Staunton Bridge Road and Whitehorse Road, Highway 25. Currently contains single-family residential. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined and shaded here is zoned RS, Residential Suburban District. The request is for R7.5, Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is Single Family Residential. And this is the subject site and photo showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the R7.5 Single Family Residential District would not be consistent with the Plan Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of suburban neighborhood, which calls for a density of 3 to 5 units per acre, nor would the permitted lot size under the R7.5 be consistent with existing residential lots in the area. Staff feels that were the request amended to the R12 Single Family Residential District, there would be stronger support for the zoning change. Based on these reasons, staff recommends the denial of the requested rezoning to R7.5 Single Family Residential District. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Baxley. Everyone sort of understand that their recommendation for denial for this, they turn right around and recommend approval for the R12. So can I get a motion for this?
That's the same piece of property?
Yes, same piece of
Same
property.
portion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Or do you have any other questions for staff? I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion. We accept staff's denial.
Okay. Ms. Phillips has made a motion to accept the staff's denial. Mr. Parham has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. All right, 23.
Next docket is CZ-2026-023. The property is located at 102 Bowling Road in Greenville. The applicant is Francis Bishop. The 0.55 acre subject property consists of a portion of one parcel and is located approximately 1.3 miles southwest of the intersection of Staunton Bridge Road and Whitehorse Road, Highway 25. Currently contains a single-family residence. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined and shaded here is zoned RS, Residential Suburban District. The request is for R12, Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is Single Family Residential. This is the subject site and photo showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the R12 Single Family Residential District would be consistent with the Plan Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of suburban neighborhood, which calls for a density of 3 to 5 units per acre, will not have an adverse impact on the surrounding area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to R12 Single Family Residential District. Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions for staff or a motion?
I have a motion to approve staff's approval on CZ 2026-023.
All right, can I get a second? All right. Ms. Manning made a motion to approve. Mr. Moore has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, 18.
The next docket is CZ-2026-018. The property is located at 25 Goldsmith Street, Poinsett Highway, and Hammond Street Extension in Greenville. The applicant is Tori Babcock of Hartness Development for Poinsett Development Partners. The 6.54 acre subject property consists of two parcels and is located approximately 0.5 miles north of the intersection of Poinsett Highway, Highway 276, and Rutherford Road, and currently contains a business incubator center. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned C2 Commercial District and I1 Industrial District. The request is for S1 Services District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is office space with special event facilities. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to S1 Services District will be consistent with the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, future land use designation of mixed-use corridor, which calls for mixed-use development along multimodal corridors and would not have an adverse impact on the surrounding area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to S1 Services District. Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, any questions for staff or a motion?
I have one question.
Sure, Mr. Holland.
It says here in our packet that this property is on the National Register of Historic Places. Do we know why?
Because it is a historical mill structure, is my understanding.
Okay.
So there are certain architectural and design requirements they've had to stick with to maintain those credits.
Adhere to. Yeah.
Okay, right. And if anything were to change, they would have to go through the Historical Society
yeah.
to
Yes, sir.
get any of that done. Okay, thank you.
Ms.
I
Manning?
just want to make one comment. I live very close by, and I have to say that this will be a vast improvement for Poinsett Highway. It looks like a great combination because just north of the subject property, they have mixed-use office spaces for folks that don't have permanent office space. I think it's a great way of improving the overall area on Poinsett Highway, and so kudos to Harkness. Thank you.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make a motion?
I'll make a motion to please to accept CZ 2026-018 to support staff's approval of that subdivision. Thank you.
Can I get it? All right. Ms. Manning made a motion for approval. Ms. Franklin has the second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 19.
The next docket is CZ-2026-019. The property is located at 109 Riverside Drive in Taylors. The applicant is Carlos Arango for Jordi Viveros and UD Toro. The 0.48 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.85 miles northeast of the intersection of West Main Street and Wade Hampton Boulevard, Highway 29. Currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned R20, Single Family Residential District. The request is for R7.5, Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is Single Family Residential. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the R7.5 Single Family Residential District would be consistent with similar zoning in the area and would not have an adverse impact on the surrounding properties. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to R7.5 Single Family Residential District. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Baxley. Any questions or motions?
I'll make a motion for approval.
All righty.
I'll second.
Mr. Allen made a motion to approve. Ms. Manning has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 20.
The next docket is CZ-2026-020. The property is located at 75 Crestview Drive in Greenville. The applicant is Samuel Francis. The 0.75 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.25 miles northeast of the intersection of Poinsett Highway, Highway 276, and Old Buncombe Road, and currently contains single-family residential. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RM20, Multifamily Residential District. The request is for RS, Residential Suburban District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is single-family residential with farm animals. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the RS, Residential Suburban District, would not be consistent with the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, future land use designation of Suburban Center, which suggests a density of 6 to 12 dwelling units per acre, nor would it be consistent with similar zoning in the area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to RS, Residential Suburban District. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any Comments or questions on this one?
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Phillips?
Mr. Baxley,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell us how large that lot is? How many acres? Or
The
point acres?
0.75 acres.
0.75.
Yeah.
That's the only question I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion, we accept staff's
I
denial.
have another question, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Mr. Parr?
I think I rode through there. You know, I don't recall there seeing a lot of multifamily homes there. I know that's you're talking about, and part of the motivation for denial was the future future land use and the comprehensive plan, and I understand that. Is there any other options, you know, kind of like we've had some others, that there's been recommendations, if they come back with something different, there's a chance to have it approved. I think part of this is the reason the drivers for this from the hearing the other night is that they have some livestock there.
Correct.
And so is there anything that's even remotely close that would allow that?
So the RS zoning is the least rural district that would still allow for sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, you have the RR1, RR3, and AG districts, and those are going to be much larger lot sizes and allow for even more agricultural uses, and they wouldn't have the acreage for any of those regardless.
Do we know how many sheep they plan to have? 0.75?
I think the problem is they're already there. There's 4 or 5, I saw them.
Well, the other problem is when if you rezone it, it could have 100.
Right.
There's nothing that
Absolutely.
contains that.
And
Yes,
it's what we're always having to look out for.
Yeah.
Sure.
But what might come right afterwards and somebody moves
Yeah.
in right beside it.
right.
It doesn't.
There's no alternative with the Board of Zone, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I'm just gonna,
Go ahead. Everybody's jumping in.
Yeah, the Board of Zoning Appeals, they cannot grant variances on land uses.
got it. Okay.
You good, Mr. Parham?
Yes.
There is one other district that's R20A, which is a single-family zoning district that would allow for livestock. However, our conclusion is really not going to change because it's not much different than what the request is now. But that would be the only other district that would allow livestock.
Okay.
Can I?
Miss Manning had her hand up first.
So if we agree with your denial, they're going to have to get rid of these pet sheep, is that correct?
If it goes all the way through to council and
Yeah.
the request is ultimately denied.
We're just recommending.
And so how many sheep do they have?
From
4.
testimony at public hearing, I believe they have 4 currently.
So they'd have to get rid of their 4 pet sheep.
Yes.
Is there, I agree with Ms. Phillips, is there any way of making accommodations? These are obviously pet sheep, they're not designed for livestock reasons, obviously.
They might share them.
I mean, I can't imagine they would be going into slaughter or something.
They did say that they would be similar like with a chicken where you receive their eggs, they would be using the milk and things like that from them. So unfortunately they would fall under the definition of farm animals and farm that's where we get that from.
We just discussed that.
Yeah.
Mr. Holland?
Can we place some type of condition about and limit the number of livestock due to the fact that the
No.
land is so small?
The only way to condition zoning is if it's a review district.
Yeah, FRD.
Right, okay.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hammond?
may I make a motion to deny the application, please?
Well, Ms. Phillips already made a motion. Would you like to second it?
I'd love to second it.
All righty. Ms. Phillips made a motion to accept staff's recommendation of denial. Mr. Hammond has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Ms. Manning and Mr. Matasevic said no.
It's a little cruel and unusual punishment for getting rid of 4 little sheep.
What
How
if-
on the sheep side?
What if it was 80?
No, 4 would be fine.
Okay.
The next docket is CZ-2026-021. The property is located at 2513 Poinsett Highway, Woodland Drive, and Tyndall Road in Greenville. The applicant is Rebecca E. Cheney of Grow the Factory LLC for Jonathan E. Cheney. The 0.39 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.8 miles northwest at the intersection of Poinsett Highway and State Park Road. Currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is Zone C1 Commercial District. The request is for C3 Commercial District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is auto service. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that a successful rezoning to C3 Commercial District would not be consistent with zoning and land uses in the area and could allow for uses which could have a negative impact on the surrounding residential properties. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to C3 Commercial District. Mr. Chairman.
All right, commissioners, any questions on this one?
Mr. Chairman, if I might, just a couple of thoughts on this one. Directly across Poinsett Highway for most of the linear frontage, it's all C2 and has been C2 for probably since zoning was in place. Poinsett Highway gets nearly 40,000 cars a day. It's not a residentially conducive corridor. I can't imagine as these homes at front Poinsett turn that they remain owner occupied. And to that point, there are about 13 homes that are north and south of the subject, and 30% of them are currently owner occupied. This property's been zoned C1 for a long time. The property adjacent to it was a former service station and been a retail shop for decades. I just don't see the downside in rezoning a portion a property that fronts a major U.S. highway with almost 40,000 cars per day. I just don't see a downside to C3.
Staff, you want to respond or just let her go?
Well, I mean, I say there's certainly valid points. Were the request on the other side of Poinsett, then I doubt we would have any sort of issue with it.
Yeah.
And even under the comp plan, this property is actually split between the part of it that is commercial future land use versus residential. So there was some discussion about that. Ultimately, our decision was based on just due to the residential zoning on this side of Poinsett.
Yeah, the adjacency of the residential.
Correct.
Yeah. All righty, any other questions or
Mr. Chair.
comments? Mr. Parham?
So what's the major differences between a C2 and C3?
So C2 and
C2,
C3, a lot of similarities, quite honestly. C2 just allows for, I think, alcohol and liquor sales. And I believe C3 may allow for some other uses that aren't in C2, but there is a lot of overlap between the two.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Parham made a motion to approve, and Mr. Matasevic has the second. Any further discussion?
Now, can we clarify that we are making a motion to approve, which means we are actually denying staff's recommendation of denial?
I'm assuming
Is that
you're
what
you're against the denial.
That is affirmative. I'll restate my motion.
No, it was still good.
there's-
No, I'm good with it.
I just want to make sure we all know that. 'Cause
I would like to grant the change.
Okay. All right, any other comments?
I'd like to make one small comment. If anyone's familiar with the car wash debacle on Woodruff Road,
Debacle?
where the car wash went in next to a neighborhood, because that property was rezoned later. I think that might be something we want to, I mean, I understand this is right on the road, and I know what they're asking. It doesn't seem like it's going to be, harmful to the neighbors, but it is something I think we need to consider.
I agree. It's too close.
Can I ask another question?
Sure, Mr.
Will there
Holland.
be any entrances off of Tyndall if this property is rezoned?
That I'm unsure of.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would come down to their site design. I
That's
suppose
up to
right
roads
now,
and bridges.
And that would be up to roads and bridges?
Yes.
Right.
That or SCDOT, whether or not they allow a
Look.
curb cut on
Correct.
276.
Because there currently is not an entrance off of Tyndall. And doesn't look like there's an entrance off of,
Yeah, so I
Woodland.
believe there's currently a gate right
Oh, there-
here on
okay.
Woodland. Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot more wooded and grown up.
right, it is.
Actually, I believe you can see.
Ms.
the
Manning.
photos.
So the existing that's on there is an old, is a home, is a house, is that correct?
It's been removed now.
It has been removed.
It was a commercial building for decades, and it was an insurance office at one point.
Interesting, okay. And the existing zoning of C1 commercial allows what type of structure or business?
It would just be the lower end intensity of commercial districts. You can still have retail, office space, things like that. You wouldn't be able to have auto service, vehicle storage, anything like that.
And they're asking for a C3, which is a commercial district, which would be what, a higher order of more,
Yes, it would be more intensive commercial uses. Their business is, it's a window tinting business. I
Mhm.
believe they do vehicles, different types of vehicles, different sizes. I believe they also do buildings potentially as well.
and does that result in any of air quality issues or anything of that, noise issues, anything of that nature?
I'm not sure, honestly.
But any use that's permitted in C3 would be.
Yeah, that's the
That-
issue.
That is correct.
So
Car
the issue-
lot.
So the issue could possibly be increased noise and increased air pollution, is that correct?
I mean, I think you run that risk with increasing the intensity of a lot of uses, but, I mean, especially with the noise. Now, air quality, air pollution, I don't,
Yeah.
I can't
Sure.
really speak to that.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
the noise question is a legitimate question, but has anyone gone out and stood on the shoulder of a 5-lane US highway where the posted speed limit is 45 miles an hour? The actual speed limit is probably 55 miles an hour when there are 40,000 cars a day going down it. A business sitting there is not going to add dramatically to any noise issue, and there was no one against the application at the public hearing.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Any further discussion? All those in agreement for approval, raise your hand. Those are wanting to deny, raise your hand. Wait a minute, we missed one. No, it's 5-4. It's 5-4, okay, I'm sorry. You got everybody? All righty. All right, next applicant.
The next docket is CZ-2026-022. The property is located at Old Grove Road and Bracken Road in Greenville. The applicant is James Mom of NAI Earl Furman for Augusta Grove Greenville LLC. The 41.33 acre subject property consists of a portion of one parcel and is located approximately 0.7 miles west of the intersection of Bracken Road and Augusta Road and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned I-2 Industrial Park District. The request is for I-1 Industrial District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is a speculative industrial building. This is the subject site and photo showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to I-1 Industrial District would be consistent with the Plan Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of industrial, and would also be consistent with South Greenville Area Plan future land use designation of business and light manufacturing. Additionally, the requested zoning district is consistent with adjacent I-1 parcels to the north. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to I-1 Industrial District. Mr. Chairman.
All right, I got a quick question for you, Mr. Baxley. I'm going to read from your last one. and could allow for uses which could have a negative impact on the surrounding area, or
Yes, sir.
properties? I mean, would that not apply with this as well?
The I-1 district would allow for some more intensive industrial.
Very
uses.
intense,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
You can have a wrecking yard there. I just,
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Mr. Parham, go ahead.
So when I look at the future land use, that entire neighborhood to the right on the map, all of that's in industrial. Which came first? Was that neighborhood there before we made all this industrial?
Go back to your.
Yeah, go
Are you
ahead.
referring to the future land use? of the
Future
comp
land
plan?
use,
Okay.
yes.
So not the zoning.
Not the
Okay.
zoning, the future land use.
Future land use would have came after the zoning. 'Cause the
Okay.
future land use would have been in the comp plan that
That's
was
what I
adopted
thought.
in 2020.
Okay. And that's the only real RM, well, there's a little sliver over to the right of RMA. Huh. Do you guys have any idea how old that neighborhood is?
I believe this neighborhood is maybe a bit older, but I think all this RMA back here is more recent.
Okay.
If memory serves. And I believe one of the citizens spoke to that effect at the public hearing.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. That's-
Question for staff, the I-2 is a relatively new zoning classification. What was that parcel before it was I-2?
That's a good question. It was initially zoned RS,
Mhm.
and then went from RS to the I-2.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
That was in 1999 that that happened?
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
that neighborhood is about 40 years old.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Franklin.
I'd like to make a motion, we deny that application.
All righty, Ms. Phillips made a motion to deny. Can I get a
I
second?
will second Ms. Phillips' motion.
All
for
righty,
denial.
Mr. Holland, all right. Ms. Franklin made a motion to deny. Mr. Holland has a second. Any further discussion?
Correction.
Correction.
Mr. Chairman, before there is a decision made, Heisha did text me and say that that she did want me to comment on the fact that this is a project that Greenville County is working on with GADC on that side. So
All right. I'll tell you later. Ms. Phillips?
I made the motion to deny, not Ms. Franklin.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Ms. Phillips made the motion. I'm sorry, Julie. All righty. Any further discussion? All those in favor to deny, raise your hand. All those for approve? All right. Denied, recommended 7-2.
And that
All righty.
concludes the rezoning docket, so we'll switch over now for
Okay.
subdivision.
Let's take staff a few minutes to switch over to subdivision.
I think if they
right, this is VA 2026-26. 126 Chick Springs Road, LDR 8.1 variance request. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR Section 8.1, which requires a front setback of 40 feet from a major collector. Per county records, Chick Springs Road is classified as a major collector. The house is currently 9.6 feet from the front property line at its closest point. The subject parcel, however, is not adjacent to the right-of-way, as parcel T02400100114 is located between the subject landlocked parcel and the right-of-way of Chick Springs Road, which is approximately 132 feet from the right-of-way. The variance request would be for an encroachment of 30.4 feet into the front setback. What's going on? Here is an image of the site outlined in red, and here is an image of the site plan that was submitted in your packet. Here's kind of a larger view of that. The area of the variance request is circled in red. Here is an image of the site. This picture was taken from the road, so what the house that you're looking at is actually the third pediment that you see, that triangle shape at the very back. Here is across the street north of the site. Here is to the east of the site and the west of the site. SAC produced no comments in opposition or concerns related to the request. Staff recommends approval of the variance as requested. Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. We have one speaker in favor. Ms. Williams? Mr. Williams, I'm sorry.
How you guys doing? Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I stand here as the legal representative for the owners for 126 Chick Spring Road. We're asking for this commission to go along with the staff, and that's all I have for today, unless anyone has questions.
I can't. I still don't understand what, I mean, it's what, 100-something feet back from Chick Springs Road?
Yeah, the parcel is landlocked, and it does still have that front setback requirement per the ordinance. And this actually did come in through code enforcement. So they have a note that it's not meeting the ordinance and that it needs a request for a variance to meet the ordinance or for the house to be.
But
So-
it looks, hold on, my turn.
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe you'll ask what I'm already thinking.
All I see is an awning that encroaches like 1.5 feet. Is there any other encroachment that I'm missing?
The house that you can see on the plan, I don't know if I can zoom in or not, but let's see. Josh, you know how to do this. So the house here is, you can see kind of my mouse here probably.
Yeah. It
That
says
house
house.
is actually in the front setback. There's an easement along here for them to access the parcel because the parcel doesn't have road frontage
Right.
along Chick Springs. But it does still require, per the ordinance, a front setback of 40 feet.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question of staff?
Sure, Mr. Hall.
So what triggered this?
That's a good
You
question.
said code enforcement, so what triggered?
We would have had a code case that of a building being constructed without permits, probably.
Okay.
We go out, we notice the issue, we see that, okay, well, what's the setback required on this adjacent or on that property line? Find out that it's 40 feet. And so now, okay, the only way to, to come into compliance is to go through this process.
Do we know how long the house has been there?
Mr. Williams, do you know?
What's the address?
No, Your Honor. I'm sorry, not Your Honor. Ooh,
Oh, I
thank
like
me
it.
for
Don't do that.
Don't get him. Go
He
ahead.
likes that. He'll send you $5.
Mr. Chairman, no,
Thanks, guys.
I'm not aware of how long it's been there. I do know that it's fairly recent that they have been trying to build this. So I don't think it's been more than at least a year or two. So I don't think it's a
23, there were
long
2
process. But they may have a better.
So sometime in 23.
Does
The house was built sometime in 2023.
According to
Okay.
aerials.
Yeah, okay.
If Chick Springs weren't classified as a major collector, what would be the setback?
Depending on what it's classified as, the lowest it could be is 20 feet.
Okay, that's what it is.
Does Mr. Ruiz own this property as well?
I am not certain, Your Honor.
I mean, he's encroaching on that fellow's property.
If you're referring to the property at 126, which has direct frontage on Chick Springs Road, that property is owned by Alejandro Ruiz.
That's what I said, Mr. Ruiz is, does he own this one too?
No, this one is owned by Acapulco Investing, which is the other three that you see in this square, but not the one directly in front.
Oh,
So, Mr. Chair,
I
Ms.
do believe
Parham,
that's the
thank you.
same
So-
individual, is it not?
so still trying to understand, so that inside this red circle here, we've got this rectangle labeled house. It is set too close to the portion just above that. And I see these little dotted lines, I'm trying to, yeah, so it's actually infringing on someone else's.
that's probably a fence. It is a
That's what I was
wood
trying to-
fence. You see the X's? It's a-
Okay.
It
Yeah,
says wood
that's a
fence.
fence there.
That's the symbol for fence.
May I ask another question
Yeah, let's let
of staff?
Mr. Parham,
Oh.
are you done?
Yeah, I'm
All right,
just still
Mr.
trying
Holland?
to grasp.
So, code enforcement came out, and this house was built without permits?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the way
could have been it.
the way that it works is we get a complaint about something being done. We go out, we verify if there's permits. If there's not permits, then we put them in violation. I don't have the case pulled up here in front of me. If you want to give me a second, I can remote into my computer and get that information.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to know if,
I'm nervous.
Just give me 1 second.
I mean, if it were built with permits, it seemed like
Yeah, it
the
wouldn't have
setback's
ended
kind of
up
a
that way.
setback.
Yeah, they would have already picked up on some.
Right.
So I'm,
Mr. Chairman, might I ask Megan a question while Josh is looking?
sure, Ms. Phillips?
It looks from the aerial that there are probably multiple structures in that neighborhood that are encroaching on, correct?
Right.
Yeah, which is, and it also appears there are multiple homes on this same property.
So the site is unzoned and that is permitted.
It is unzoned.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Moore?
the rectangular structure that's on the other property between this house and Chick Springs, is that not in violation too?
So, yeah, it does show on the map that, or the survey here, that the adjoiner's owning is actually encroaching over the property line.
is that's an awning, both of them?
No, that's a house.
That's, well,
That's what I was thinking, it was a house.
No, the metal garage
awning
is
is what is
encroaching, isn't it?
encroaching. There's two structures there. There's an
Wow.
awning that is encroaching. Doesn't mean the entire structure is, but all of it is not meeting a back setback, which would be 5 feet. However, I think that's not something that was put into violation because it wasn't just recently built. This is something that would have been previous, perhaps grandfathered in.
But we don't know that for sure, if it was grandfathered.
I mean, I don't know how long those structures were there. This is regarding the new structure.
Right, I understand that, but I'm with Jim, I don't understand. Because just by the pictures, it doesn't look like these structures are new, they look like they've been there a while. Looks like we're adding on to an existing structure.
So the house was built in its entire, the way in its current foundation, its current location, without any permits. We got a complaint. We went out, found out the house was built without permits. There has been a lot of back and forth. Code enforcement, I think, actually has gone as far as cutting the power to the structure due to the lack of bringing it into compliance. And so that's why we're here today.
All right. Then, based on that information, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we deny the variance request.
I'll second.
All righty, Mr. Holland made a motion to deny. Mr. Moore has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor to deny, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Doesn't know both of those. That's separate.
You got it?
Yeah, I bet they do. It's on the same lot.
Thank you.
All right, this is VA 2026-38, 107 Ennery Pasture Circle, LDR 8.7 building setback request. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR Section 8.7, which requires a side setback of 5 feet from any side property line. The newly constructed house is currently 3 feet from the property line at its closest point. As such, the variance request would be for an encroachment of 2 feet into the side setback. The applicant says the house is currently under contract and would require tearing down and rebuilding the house to address the setback issue. The applicant also states that there is a 20-foot access and drainage easement on the property adjacent that limits the ability to adjust the lot line to address the setback issue. Here is an aerial of the site. You can see the lot outlined in red. You can also kind of see that drainage feature coming through there, and then the actual pond at the rear of the site. And then this is the survey. Here's a better image of that survey. I've outlined it in red here. And you can kind of see the drainage easement coming along the side of that lot line here. And then the house here where it encroaches. Here is the site. It is currently under construction. Here is the house to the north of the site. This is the one directly to the right of it with that easement running down. Here's across the street from the site. You can see that the neighborhood is currently under construction. And here is to the left of that property, south of the site. This is an image showing the area of request. So here you can kind of see how far the houses are from each other and then that drainage easement area. SAC produced no comments in opposition or concerns related to the request. Staff recommends approval of the variance as requested. Mr. Chairman.
I got one quick question for staff. On that piece of paper, it says the newly constructed house is currently 3 feet from the front property line. Don't you mean side?
It should say side.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Scrivener's error on that.
All righty. We have 2 folks that have signed up that are in favor. Charles, I can't read that last name. Do you want to speak first or the other gentleman?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, if you guys had any,
Give me your name and address for
Charles
the record,
Bryant,
please.
1198 North Pleasantburg Drive.
Great.
I'm the declarant, the builder out there, so
All right,
just any
thank you.
questions you guys had, want to
Yeah.
make myself available.
Why'd you screw up?
Sir?
Why'd you screw up?
We have a process. We do what's called a box check and a form check on this thing. On this one, in our effort to satisfy a customer and do a right-hand garage, in lieu of a left-hand garage, it got past us to check that point, and we caught it ourselves during our own audit. So,
Staff, quick question, since that's a drainage easement. Even if we grant this variance, if they show up with a backhoe or a bulldozer, they can still use the entire 20 feet, right? Well, I know it. What do you do?
Yeah, they have access to the full 20 feet. This is not encroaching in the 20 feet there.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not sure if a variance is sufficient, because like I said, it's a drainage easement. And if they need to dig up a pipe or something, I mean, they wouldn't, even if we granted it, I'm not sure they'd have to pay attention to it. Is that true?
I mean, the easement, I mean, is there, and there's the pond behind it. So this one, sometimes you have, so almost all sites have like a 10-foot drainage easement, drainage and utility easement on each
right.
lot. This is one that actually is the easement for the pond. So like, it would need to be kept open for access to the pond.
Which goes
Mr.
back to my
Chairman.
same question, though. Even if we granted it, would they have to pay attention to it? Ms. Phillips asked first.
Which means if it's a drainage easement, if we have a lot of rain, that's probably going to flood, which could cause structural damage.
No, it's really an access to the pond in the back. It's not just a swell, is
They're
it?
not encroaching into the easement. I feel
They're
like we should
not
clarify.
encroaching into the
No.
easement.
Oh, see,
They're
I
misunderstood.
encroaching
Into the setback.
into the setback
They
from the
can't move the
easement.
property line to meet the setback, to give 5 feet,
Gotcha.
because they would be covering over that
Okay.
easement area.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Holland, go ahead.
Okay, so I was out there Saturday, Mr. Parham was out there, we pulled a tape measure out of my truck and bought it at Lowe's, and it, sure enough, 3 feet. But you walk to the back of that property, and there are stakes out there that were marked easement, access, but they're all knocked down, and we tried our best to see if it was a straight line like the map shows, and it's not. It's just, it's this way, then it turns back. Because I was scratching my head, is this property line straight from the road all the way back to where the retention pond is? We couldn't make heads or tails of it. But I think the bigger question here is, how did it get this far? And you said you caught it in your audit.
Yes, sir.
I mean, was this originally a 2-car garage that ended up being a 3-car garage?
Yes, sir, and was a left, and when it was turned right, then it got over
You
the
know,
front.
if you know you need 5 feet, wouldn't you do 10? To
Sir.
make sure you were off that easement by
If, yes, sir. and it
more
would've-
than what you're supposed to be?
Yes, sir. If it was a garage left, it fits with no problem. When it went garage right, it got missed. And that being a 20-foot easement that's not on either lot within the setback, and it's owned by the HOA with being at a private road, feel like it doesn't impede anything going forward to be able to get back to that pond, sir.
I mean, if you put it on the left-hand side of this house, I
Yeah.
don't see how you're any better off based on the way the line runs.
No, they mirrored it.
It looks like you're even closer if you had a left-hand garage than a right-hand.
Well, that's not.
So,
It's the encroachment into the easement, which is typically meant for utilities and such. So,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Parham.
So you're with Hunter Quinn Homes?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys building all the homes out there?
Yes, sir.
And y'all build homes in multiple states, right?
Yes, sir.
Quit picking on the guy.
It just feels like, to me, it was to get this fit in here, and then we'll ask for a variance later.
No.
And
That was not the case, sir.
And I've been on the planning commission a little less than a year, and it feels like these things come to us after the fact, and it kind of feels like, well, we'll just go ahead and do this, and we'll ask for a variance because maybe historically there's been a rubber stamp of them, and more than likely this is going to get approved.
Yes, sir.
But I think developers, there's a lot of carpenters involved in building a home, and you measure twice, cut once.
Yes, sir.
And it just feels like that's not what's going on. And so I hope, and I'll take you at your word,
Yes, sir.
that it's not, we'll go ahead and put this here to satisfy the potential buyer
Yes, sir.
and make a few more dollars on this because it's bigger.
Yes, sir.
And I just hope that's not the case here. Sometimes it feels that way, but that's all I have. Thank you.
No, sir, it wasn't. We actually had plenty of room to move that house back, so that wasn't the case at all, sir. You can tell the lot size.
And that's
I
kind of-
promise you it wasn't the case.
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering is why didn't we just slide that garage back some?
Absolutely, sir.
Because I had to do that when I built my house
Yes,
to make
yes,
sure
sir.
I wasn't on
Yes, sir.
line.
That wasn't the case. We're trying to, the last thing I want to do is be before the board trigger.
Mr. Holland.
I have a question for staff. So you guys, during the process, go out, somebody goes out at different times during the process. Would somebody from the county not have caught this, that it's that close, maybe when the foundation was built, or?
I just looked through the inspection report here, and there's no, typically, we have, our building inspectors are the ones that check our setbacks, due to the fact that they're just out in the field,
Sure.
they do that for us.
Sure.
And typically, they would put that information into their, usually the foundation permit or something like that. There are no notes in here regarding setbacks, whether or not they checked it, whether or not it met it. Our information's in here about what the setback is, but there's no mention as far as it being passed.
Does Mr. Ahill want to speak?
No, only unless you have more questions.
Okay. I just wanted,
With Hunter Quinn also.
Yes, sir.
you signed up, I wanted to give you the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
When I built for years, I did foundation survey, every
Yes, sir.
house.
Yes, sir.
Because before you start framing and committing that much money to it, that's when you find this out.
Yes, sir. We do what's called a box check pre-pour, and the box check pre-pour didn't get done on this one, and I take full blame for that. That's my fault. But we do those, and that's when we audited it, we found it, and I've been building in the upstate since the '90s. I've never been before this board, sir. So,
Well, I just,
not making any excuse. I own my mistake.
No,
Can-
appreciate that.
Can I ask a question of the applicant?
Sure, Mr. Hall.
When did you discover that this was out of compliance?
When we, right after we found out we made the application here, so it's been a month or so, sir.
Yeah.
At that point, the house was past drywall and trim, which Plum made me knowledge, because again, we want to catch this before we're framing, before we pour the concrete, so.
Yeah.
Again, I own the mistake.
Mr. Manning?
So what do we do to prevent this from happening again?
We have checks in place now that we audit ourselves and do form checks. We already had that. The check didn't take place and it got missed on our audit report, and I found it. So we have a pretty robust system that this shouldn't happen, and it happened, ma'am, but we do a really good job. I probably build 200 homes a year in the upstate, and I don't think you guys have ever seen me up here before.
And we don't want to see you again.
Ma'am, we don't want to. It's a waste,
Ooh, come
and I apologize. It's a waste of your time that I'm even here, sir, ma'am.
We're just trying to make sure. Ms. Phillips, you got a question?
So from what I understand, and I want to make sure I understand it correctly, when this went through building, whoever did the inspections did not catch this. You caught it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I cannot say whether
You
or not
can't say,
that
but
inspector did or did not in the field.
there are
What I
no
can
notes.
say is that looking at the
File.
inspection report here, there's no mention of whether or not the structure met the required setback of 5 feet.
Nothing was stopped in the building
No.
process to
Greenville-
say that, hey, we caught this problem, you've got to fix it,
No,
right?
there was no, you're encroaching into the setback, stop work or anything. We have approved inspections for, let me look here. We've approved, the plumbing underground. We've approved the plumbing rough end. There's been a couple, those are disapproved and then it got approved. We've approved, permanent power. We've approved the mono slab. So there have been several mechanical rough ends. There have been several approvals thus far, and it was never discovered.
Okay, so I do commend you on that. I think that says something. However, I do worry about the drainage ditch there. I'm presuming you have a buyer for this home,
Yes, ma'am.
and they are fully aware of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask another question?
Sure, Mr. Owen.
Or were you done, Janelle?
Yes.
So if we grant this, what liability does the county have for granting this easement if this place floods? Because it's a pretty decent slope. The water's coming down the driveway.
The encroachment isn't into the drainage easement. They
It-
just can't
It's
move the
not,
lot
but it's
line.
so close, though.
It's not in there. I put the picture back up.
It is in there. Corey?
No,
Would you agree
no.
that it's in there?
What's your question?
That,
Look at the survey by a registered surveyor, and it's not in there.
It's not in the
it's
easement.
not in the easement, but
It's in the setback.
It's in the setback.
Yes.
But they're setbacks for a reason.
Yeah,
Correct.
Agreed.
utilities, and if
For utilities and the easement.
Duke wants to come through and
Sure.
chop down that corner of the house, he can.
Mr. Chair,
Yo. Ms.
I
Franklin.
move that we accept this variance.
All right, yes, I think we've abused this gentleman enough.
Second.
All right, Ms. Franklin made a motion to approve. Mr. Hammond has a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Matasevic.
quick question for staff primarily. Obviously, the variance only applies to that one corner of the garage.
Yep.
And obviously, it's for the amount of distance. There's obviously going to be a driveway. Is the driveway,
It's on the left.
It's
Oh,
It's a
the-
courtyard entrance house, so it would not be there, sir.
Okay, but so the
Driveway's
driveway will not be an issue
No,
at all?
sir. No, sir.
That was my question, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And to answer the question, driveways do not have to meet setback requirements.
Right.
Thank you.
Mr.
could
Chair,
Shove it in
one
there.
last quick question. So do we know, is that just a access easement, or is there piping underneath there? Is that- would
Access.
that- It's just access,
That's
that's what
what
I
I've
thought.
been,
Okay.
what, access to the retention pond. I mean, it's a
Yes.
20-foot.
I walked all the way down there.
Okay,
We both walked the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No. If they look at
Yeah,
the
there were
picture,
stakes
it's
laying all over the ground.
sort of
not in the
level.
ground.
Does that encroachment also
That's what I
include the overhang? Or is this mostly the overhang?
It probably would not include the overhang, sir. Probably to the corner of the house, sir.
Yes, they are. you're wrong there.
Yeah, we measured off the corner of the house.
Yeah, it does. All right, we have a motion to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no.
No.
Parham, Manning, Holland said no. You still got it. 6-3. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this is a request for reconsideration of McConnell Landing, per the Planning Commission bylaws. A letter was
hold on.
submitted into your packet.
Did everybody read Paul Harrison's letter? All right, I feel compelled to do this. The bylaws state the commission may reconsider any review when so requested, or when an applicant brings to the attention of the commission new facts, a mistake of facts in the original review, correction of a clerical error, or matters not the fault of the applicant that affects the result of the review. I just wanted everybody understand all that? Or you want to read this? We need to vote first on whether or not we'll reconsider this application. Is there any discussion on this? Again, we're just voting whether or not we're even willing to concede the fact that one of those items were made, and he contends
I
that
have a
staff
question.
didn't give him.
Was
Mr.
it,
Parham?
who made the clerical error?
No, they contend in that letter that the environmental report was not given to us by staff.
Okay.
Is the number one thing. I'm sure there's something else that I'm missing.
Yeah, there was a second thing. but-
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the letter. Here it is. The environmental report was not provided. Second, Planning Commission indicated the requirements for a pre-submittal meeting had not been met.
That is incorrect.
Well, this is his. All right, and then lastly, traffic engineer has since provided additional insight to the Planning Commission, and I know that was an issue as well, but, to me, the environmental report not being provided to us he claims is a clerical error, and that would comply with our bylaws. So, do we reconsider or not? I need a motion, or if you want to discuss further, just raise your hand. Does everybody understand? Okay. All right, Mr. Moore, can I get a second? Mr. Hammond made a second. Any further discussion? All in favor to reconsider, raise your hand. All right. All those opposed to reconsideration, raise your hand.
No, it was 8-1.
Okay, thank you. I can't count that high. All righty. Ms. Staton, let's go ahead and do a presentation for us.
All right.
Unless you all don't want it. Would you like to hear it again? Okay.
It's the same one as before, right?
Yeah. I just want to make sure. Go ahead. Do a quickie.
Can we pull something up here?
Yeah.
What's it in there?
Do you have it to show?
We're getting there.
All right.
What's it under?
My notes didn't transfer over into my list here from previous, so we're just grabbing it.
All righty.
Go to the PC presentations, and then do last month, so 2026,
Getting hungry.
and then do March.
Notes or
Hangry.
Do notes.
Hangry? Yeah. No, I'm not quite to hangry yet.
And just work on it. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. This is PP 2026-21. McConnell Landing is an unzoned rural conservation subdivision located southwest of the intersection of Chick Springs Road, which is a state road, and St. Mark's Road, which is also a state road. The applicant is requesting 89 lots on 87.26 acres for a density of 1.01 units per acre. Access is provided off of McConnell Road, which is a county road. Let me do this. It's like slightly different. Hold on.
You good?
We're out of order.
Oh, they're out of order.
That's fine. We can just do that. Here's the site outlined in red. And here's the site plan that was submitted in your packets. The project includes one ingress-egress point, one hidden emergency entrance, 2 internal roads, 1 cluster mailbox area with 8 parking spaces, 50-foot screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, additional creek buffers along creeks on site, 2 detention ponds, 3,826 linear feet of new public road, and 55.46 acres of open space. 21.82 acres are required. Some additional close-ups of the plan. This is actually the lot size table. And this is the natural resources. This actually says what the different current uses of open space are on it. The site is unzoned. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, where it is designated as suburban neighborhood. Suburban neighborhoods are generally shaped by residential subdivisions of median lot homes with relatively uniform housing types. The suburban neighborhood character area type recommends a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre. McConnell Landing is proposing a density of 1.01 units per acre. Here is the site, and here is an image of east of the site, north and east of the site, and also south of the site. Regarding SAC comments, all SAC comments were addressed at the resubmittal. Is there a traffic?
There, I got a traffic one right here.
Where did my traffic go? Weird. Okay. All right. Traffic impact study was conducted for the proposed McConnell Landing residential development. I don't know where that slide is in here. It seems to be missing. I apologize that you can't see this.
That's okay. We have it in our packet.
But it was created in accordance with the SCDOT guidelines. The proposed development is located on the west side of McConnell Road off of St. Mark Road in Greenville County. The development is expected to consist of 89 single-family homes and anticipated to be constructed by the end of 2030. A turn lane analysis was conducted utilizing Build 2030 volumes. Based on build-out volumes, no turn lanes are warranted at the site access per the TIS. The capacity analysis indicated that all approaches to the site intersections were expected to operate at an LOS B or better. No additional improvements were recommended based on the capacity analysis. Recommendations from the TIS include realigning McConnell Road to create a new T intersection at the site access.
And that's your condition, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions of approval are as follows. Per the traffic impact study, realign McConnell Road to create a new T intersection at the site access. I'd also like to mention that the applicant has put together some additional parts of a plan. These were not included because this is a reconsideration, and only things that were included in your packet were items that were submitted at the time of the actual application from last month, such as the bunched arrowhead study. But if you would like to see those additional things, requesting a revised preliminary plan as a condition of approval is something that you could choose to do as well. Just wanted to let you know of that option.
Right. All right, we've got folks signed up both in opposition and in favor. Each side gets a total of 10 minutes. You can take it all or split it up amongst all of you. The first speaker in opposition is Elizabeth Moray. Did I say that right?
No, but that's okay.
Okay.
My name is Elizabeth Murray. I reside
All
at
right.
6 Sturgeon Bay Drive. McConnell Road is right here at the T where we live on Sturgeon Bay Drive. I would just like to address, as I did last time, the impact that this subdivision is going to have in our community and on our roads. Last time we were here, Mr. Hammond, you made a lot of comments about, like, I feel, I think, I hear a lot of this. Well, it's reality. It's reality what's going on for us there. There's 338 apartments going to be built on the corner of Wade Hampton Boulevard and St. Mark's. there's going to be this 89 homes. That's minimum 400 plus if you give one car per house, okay? It's a reality. St. Mark's Road cannot handle, it's ridiculous now. Mr. Harrison made a suggestion to put a little left-hand turn lane to go into McConnell. There's no room there to put a left-hand turn lane. It's the only thing that would ever solve the problem on St. Mark's Road is to make it 2 lanes in each direction. That's the only way. There was a time when you could go and it was 9 o'clock in the morning or coming home at night and there was traffic. It's like that all day, backed up 25, 30 cars. It's just adding more and more and more. And there's a lot of other issues, and I'll let those be spoken of by our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Madeline Roberts.
Thank you. As last time when I was here, I'd like to reiterate that McConnell Road is a narrow 1-lane road at best. It's in constant poor condition and is not maintained. It is very dangerous for any kind of traffic. There are 2 businesses on McConnell Road, and one being Taylor's Equipment Repair. They do repair on heavy equipment such as concrete pump trucks, transfer trucks, dump trucks, and this traffic that we have on that road, it's contributing to the constant deterioration of McConnell Road. You can't take 2 cars and pass in front of that business at this point because the road is in such poor condition. And in addition to the traffic problem that we have on this road and the condition of the road, there's also another project that butts right up against this new subdivision that's trying to come in that is blocking the road, and it involves 5 tracts of land. And currently, this has just come about in the last week, and it's adding a lot of problem. You can't get down the road, period. Also, additional housing increases traffic congestion and pose great safety risks for our community. I also say that the scale and design of the proposed subdivision is of great concern, and St. Mark's Point subdivision is composed of modest and well-maintained homes, and any additional developments of lesser quality would diminish the value of the existing homes. I respectfully implore the board to please oppose this subdivision. Thank you.
I got a quick question. Stop the clock, please. What's blocking the road? I didn't understand.
The equipment that's being unloaded for this project that's happening, whatever it is, we have no knowledge of what's really being built on this land or what's happening, but it butts right up against this proposed subdivision that they're trying to come in.
Staff.
Right at the curve. It's right at the,
Entrance?
happening right at here.
The building
Yeah.
duplexes.
There's already 2 duplexes up there at the curb, right between, or right after Able Hydraulics. And it's the rest of that tract of, the 2 tracts of land there, and then the ones after that into the curve. And they go back into the forest enough that it's deep enough within the forest currently that it's halfway in to where my home is, right across the road.
Have you complained to county about the road blockage?
Not yet.
Okay.
But today, we couldn't get through, so we're gonna have to.
Josh, do you know what's going on out there?
I'm trying to get there.
I figured.
There's
All right.
trucks parked out there all day.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Jenny Copeland. Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Jenny Copeland. I live at 1 Kayla LaCourte in Taylors. So I just have 3 quick concerns for you. One, as you've already heard, the infrastructure, we feel like it's just not in place to handle this. Like they've said, McConnell is very narrow, it's very curvy, it has the shoulder is not stable, so it's already very unsafe. So we feel like we would be compounding that to then just add additional traffic to that. Connected to that, I'm concerned about the viability of the traffic survey. So it was very much based on capacity analysis. Well, nobody drives on that road. It's like an alley. So to sit out there and count cars, well, nobody drives on it because it's not a drivable road. Like, we live right there and we will cut out there, but you have to drive like this to get around the mess. And if somebody's coming, you have to kind of get off to let them by. So counting cars on that and then saying, hey, there were only a few, I think we can handle a subdivision. I'm not sure that counting cars on what's like an alley is really reliable results for a subdivision. It's kind of like doing a study on your driveway to see if you could build a skyscraper. So I think I'm a little concerned about that we're just adding more safety issues. The second thing is that last month, a question came up about this possibly being rentals. And the answer back to that was, well, I assume it will be single-family, homes that are sold. I just want to make sure you're aware that Kim Gift, who's listed as the developer there is from Hudson Oak. And if you go on the Hudson Oak website, this is what they say. Hudson Oak is positioned to be a rental housing industry leader who is value-focused, seeking opportunistic scenarios for investment within multifamily and single-family for rent real estate in the United States. Hudson Oak was created and formed to establish an industry leader in rental housing. So I'm just concerned about that maybe we need to clarify that, and that couldn't have quite the impact on the area. And I guess my last thing is just an appeal to you all as a committee. So last month, some comments were kind of made like, well, if they check all the boxes, we're good to go. That was a little concerning because, AI could make sure they checked all the boxes, having their paperwork in. But we really rely on you guys as a committee to look out for us and look out for our county. I'm not against growth or subdivisions. That's all fine. It just has to be in the right place with the right infrastructure. And it just feels like right now this maybe isn't the best place for that. So we appreciate your consideration.
Let me ask you a quick question. I meant to ask her, what is the width of the road? Everybody it's a narrow single-lane road.
So
Did anybody measure it?
We measured it last time using, up on the screen, they measure it at 19.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kevin Copeland, would you like to speak? How much time do we have?
4 minutes, 18 seconds.
4 minutes, 18 seconds.
I'm Kevin Copeland at 1 Kalala Court in Taylor's. I just, like my wife was saying, that the board here, or the committee, is not just some kind of AI thing that you type all the things in and make sure all the facts are there and then rubber stamp it. Y'all have wisdom enough to, some of you said you went out and looked at the road and had concerns about McConnell Road. And my concern is that the traffic survey didn't catch all the cars because the cars don't go all the way out McConnell Road. It cuts into our subdivision already because our subdivision roads are nice. They don't go out that rough, bumpy, pothole, curvy McConnell Road. They cut into ours already. So if you add 89 more units, where are they going to go? Unless they fix McConnell Road, I don't believe it's a wise choice.
Thank you, sir. Kelsey?
Mr.
Ooh.
Chairman, real quick, if I can come back
Sure.
in to finally answer the question.
All right.
So what's going on is there was a summary plat that was approved for some parcels, and Megan, can you magnify that area? You get there. That was approved back in 2024, I think, for these. It's kind of really fuzzy to see, but those areas, those parcels right there, it was 5 lots created via summary plat, and then a land disturbance permit was approved. So what they're probably seeing are equipment getting the property ready to build. There are some building permits submitted, but they are placed on hold right this moment. But that's what they're seeing. They're seeing the equipment there that is getting ready to build some homes on those platted lots.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Kelsey?
I'll decline.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm in opposition.
No, we're still on opposition.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Are you Matthew?
Yes, sir.
All right, name and address, please, sir.
My name is Matthew Whiteman. I live at 14 Kalila Court in Taylor's. I just wanted to reiterate what some of the homeowners in St. Mark Point have said, but just the other day on McConnell, right there in the curve where they are building the new duplexes, proposed 6 homes probably going to go in there, 3 duplexes. I had to stop for a fire truck coming down the road just because 2 vehicles couldn't go. So we've kind of already spoke about the width of the road, the condition of the road. I'm a healthcare professional. I bought a home in that neighborhood just last year with the assumption that I could make it downtown Greenville in less than 30 minutes. I'm quickly seeing that all hours of the day, that time getting longer. So just emergency vehicle response time is kind of a main concern, but just want to bring it up to the council and make sure everybody's aware of the current topography of that area as well. Like one of you mentioned last meeting, it was a mini Grand Canyon. This development will probably take large mass import of soil to help balance the site and to level it for homes. The way the neighborhood's laid out, the river runs completely parallel around the backside of that, and there is a rewall area there now beside the river that we can't currently see, but we'll probably see once there's mass clearing to accommodate this neighborhood. So those are just some of my concerns, and appreciate the time to speak in front of you guys.
All right, thank you, sir. That concludes our people who signed up in opposition. So we'll go in favor, and we'll start off with Paul Harrison, unless he wants somebody else.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Paul Harrison, 718 Lowndes Hill Road. I'll just start out by addressing some of the comments that we just heard. The plan is for a for-sale product. I just communicated with the developer. They're not here tonight, but the plan is for a for-sale product, a single-family detached for-sale product. And I also brought the traffic engineer with us because I know that was a lot of questions came up at the last meeting about that. But let me just address a couple of the comments just based on last month's denial about number one, the pre-application meeting. I think staff can confirm that we had the pre-application meeting in accordance with the requirements for the application. And I'll let staff answer that right now because we had the pre-application meeting. It's on our calendar. We had the meeting.
I believe in their packets, the pre-application meeting notes were submitted. You can see that what those are dated, that those were dated prior to the submittal of the application.
So one of the comments was about the pre-application meeting. That's been addressed. One of the other comments and reasons for denial was the information supplied about the environmental report. That was provided in the original application submittal, and I think that's been provided in your updated, I assume it's been provided in your updated packet. The traffic, there were some questions about, traffic, and I thought Kurt did a great job of, addressing that. Kind of after the meeting, he sent out a email to all the planning commissioners, and he kind of addressed some of the comments and concerns and questions that came up. We have had a TIA done. We did that in compliance with not only with the involvement of Kurt, but I assume with DOT too. The traffic engineer is here. Since then, I've also, we spoke to DOT about the intersection of St. Mark and Wade Hampton Boulevard. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but just so happened we're doing a project. We're not doing the multifamily project that's under construction, but we're doing the parcel right across the street from it. It's a Royal Farms gas station that one of our commercial guys are doing. And just so happened they're having to do all of the improvements at that intersection. So they have submitted for and are permitting major improvements at the intersection of St. Mark and Wade Hampton Boulevard. I brought a plan with me. I only have one copy, but those are on the record that have been submitted. It's adding in additions. Those wetlands have been taken out, and they were minor, and that was part of the updated plans that I submitted for you guys to take a look at. But I guess since this is a reconsideration, those can't be reviewed tonight. But it was a minor deduction in the overall open space that's provided for this site. We're at right around 1 unit per acre. We're well below the comp plan. We're well below what, what than the surrounding existing communities that are built. I got the traffic engineer here, and he can answer questions about the report or about any other, I guess, whatever he studied as a part of his TIA.
Commissioners, any questions for the engineer? Or you want to jump on the traffic guy?
I do.
Come on now.
Did we include, so were the
Ms. Phillips?
acreage, I mean, did the new plat that we are not looking at right now identify the areas of open space more clearly?
What I've seen, yeah, and he put a lot of dimensions on there as well per Article 22.
Okay.
It did.
So
I've
They
seen
did?
it, so they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will comment, this property borders the river. So to even assume that what's not wetlands per GIS, I think is probably not accurate. And I think you know that, Paul.
Can you clarify what you're
Yes,
stating there?
you
Because-
identified that the areas that were identified as wetlands on GIS may not be wetlands. Well, being this borders the river on the back of the property, I can imagine there's probably more water now than there used to be, unless it drains somewhere else. That's typically how the pattern has gone. Maybe not, but
I don't agree with that. I think when we're doing applications, we go by what's the best available information that we have,
Mhm.
and that best available information is GIS
Correct.
data. So I think we've identified everything that showed up as a blue line on the GIS.
You identified that.
We've identified that on the plans, as well as the existing pond on the north of the property.
Okay.
So I think we've done I think we've done a good job of identifying some of those areas. The statement I made was I can't conclusively say that those are wetlands without having a wetlands consultant actually delineate them, and then it gets verified by the Corps whether it is wetlands or whether it's not. That was the only statement that I made.
okay, thank you for that clarification.
All righty, I got a quick for staff. Has anybody looked up, is McConnell on the paving list at all in the next 5 years? Okay, I just asked. Yeah, that'd be great to know.
We did measure McConnell Road. We went out, rode several sections of McConnell Road. I got out, measured it with a tape measure. It's 20 feet wide.
Okay. But the picture looks like a PQI of 10. Any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Manning.
Thank you, Chairman. So the plat map we're looking at here is the old plat map that we looked at last month that.
Yes.
Okay. And is it a secret that we can't get the new plat map so we could see some of the?
She offered you
Just kind of
to
curious.
show it to you if you'd like to see it.
Sure.
But it's a reconsideration. That's the reason we.
I know, but
Right.
I'm kind of curious
But
as to what the.
they offered to show it to you.
Perfect.
Paul gave it to staff. Staff said we'd show it to you. So go ahead. Paul, how long is McConnell Road from your entrance out to the nearest intersection?
You mean to the next, like back out to St. Mark Road?
Whatever
Or
the next,
any intersection?
any intersection.
Quarter mile. I can't read
It's,
that.
it's a
Should be
quarter,
the St. Mark's.
it's a quarter mile from our
Entrance.
well, no, not from
Not
our
from the
entrance.
From the entrance.
From the little point.
I mean, the closest intersection, I think, would be, what's the name of that road?
I think that's Sturgeon. That's Sturgeon Bay.
I think it would be Sturgeon. And that distance is, I mean, just eyeballing it, is probably 1,000 feet?
Okay.
And that's where the heavy equipment,
I think the
company
heavy
is
equipment's on
located.
further north,
Okay.
a little further north. That's an existing subdivision entrance road.
I'm sorry, you can't. Any other questions? You don't want to?
Are we, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir, Mr. Barham.
So I've been out there a couple times, and there may be some places that are 20 feet, but there's others that are much less. I was out there in a very small vehicle, and that's one of my concerns I think I mentioned last time. The other concern I have is I did look over the traffic study, and my understanding, I've slept a few times since the last time I looked at it, is there were like 240, 280, 260, something like those numbers, turning left, right, in and out of, going by ends of McConnell. I also pulled up gotten some information from the county that gives the grading of Locust Hill, where St. Mark runs into it. So it's a ways on the up. But this traffic is going to feed into there, and it's going to feed down to Wade Hampton. And all of those intersections, at best, is shown with a grade of D. One has an F and one has an E. So my concern is that we're feeding into roads and major intersections not too far from where McConnell comes in that are already failing grades. And we're going to add to that. And from a safety and what's good for the community standpoint, I have concerns and probably going to have a hard time supporting this. It is encouraging because we didn't know about this other development that you said you guys, your company, somebody is doing that is supposed to improve St. Mark and Wade Hampton. But, not really knowing, seeing what that's going to be, I still have a lot of concerns to the point that I'm not sure I can support this.
Well, can I kind of respond to that? I understand your concerns, and I respect what you're saying, but I think you also need to look at, an unzoned piece of property with a proposal of one lot per acre, which is much less than everybody in the, pretty much probably everything, a lot of the stuff up and down St. Mark Road too. I feel like I'm being held, I feel like this development or this application's being held for intersections 2, 3, 4 miles down the road that really I don't have any control over. We typically are not expected to go in and study intersections that far away and improve those intersections. If there's discussions that need to be had with Greenville County concerning McConnell Road, I would say that I feel like Kurt has looked at this now on multiple occasions. I feel like it would be his department, and during the permitting process, as far as to if there's additional measures that need to be looked at for McConnell Road. But the biggest point is you're looking at an application for one lot per acre as opposed to someone coming in with a much denser plan, because it is unzoned. And if you were going to do a rental product on it, I think that person would come in and just say, I'm not subdividing.
Yeah.
So that should show, the residences and planning commission that this will be a for sale product. And what you could put on, because I don't think that this seller is gonna, if my client doesn't purchase it, I don't think he's gonna pull the property off the market. I think it's gonna be next guy in line. And what if next guy in line is 300 apartments?
Yeah.
It
With
would
no-
only reinforce
with-
my thoughts.
Yeah, but it would be no review from, it would be no control or no purview
It's
from
a
planning
thought that's
commission.
not part of this conversation, I'm sorry.
Well,
Mr.
the
Henderson.
roads are already failing around it, and we're just going to add to it, plus
I-
the
I
other
understand.
unit, almost 400 units going in.
Well, let's hear what Mr. Henderson found out.
According to Hisha, the paving list gets created and updated annually
Right.
based on 2 years and not 5.
Okay.
And McConnell Road is not in any,
Okay.
it's not listed on 2 years. And that, she also did reiterate what Paul was saying as far as, these intersections being outside of a study area that
Sure.
would have been done for
Sure.
development.
Understand. Were you done? I'm sorry. I was just real curious. I'm going to say something real quick. This is unzoned. You can put a pig farm or you can put 500 apartments on it. I'm sorry. This should have been zoned years ago by the owner, by people around it. It's just, we can only do so much with unzoned, and I'm sure a couple of my commissioners would disagree with that. Mr. Moore?
Well, I'll be one to agree with you. It should have been zoned a long time ago. It's one of the tools we can use to prevent something like this.
Absolutely.
I'd like to talk about the TIS. And there's been a lot of discussion about what is the study area. And I agree that where McConnell Road intersects with St. Mark's Road on the eastern side, there is data there that was taken several months ago reflecting traffic during a peak period. And also, and that's shown in Figure 4. There's also a requirement that they look at build-out conditions, and that also has a 2% increase. And they added that up for the 5 years to get to 2030, and that shows up. However, the discussion about the apartment complex, yes, it's a mile away, and it's not immediately around that intersection. However, the traffic from there will go through there and should be considered. My question is that traffic from the traffic study on the apartment complex included in this study? Because all I see is a 10% increase.
Right. That traffic was not specifically added. Like, we didn't take their generated trips and lay it on top of the assumed background growth. But I have to dig through. 2% aggressive, more aggressive than most of the studies that we do is generally around 1%. So
Well, most of the ones we've seen is 2%.
I'm just saying. I understand. That was reflective of the historical growth on Wade Hampton and on St. Mark. So at least a portion of that traffic would be accounted for in our background growth. But I do anticipate that most of that apartment traffic would go down to Wade Hampton rather than up to Locust.
There should be a traffic study for.
Impact to the intersections we did study
Yes.
would be from that apartment complex.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I
understand.
agree, the apartments are not part of that specific area.
Yeah.
But the cars coming from it and the trucks coming from it are impacting that area and should be considered.
Yes, sir.
And Article 9.2D says it should be considered.
I understand.
If it's not a problem, it's not a problem. But if it is a problem, it's a good idea to find it out now instead of somebody getting hurt.
Yes. And before I start a traffic study, I reach out to the local jurisdiction or SCDOT or whoever's going to be reviewing it, and I send them the site plan. I say, here's what we're looking at. Send them a Google Earth pin.
Information between the two. I don't even know, does the county have that?
That's what I was about to say. St. Mark Road and 29 are both state roads, so that would not have been anything that Greenville County would have reviewed. That would have been straight with DOT. So when he said that Greenville County didn't provide that information, we don't have that information to provide because that's not a traffic impact study that we review.
But that intersection is impacted by that traffic.
Right, but what I'm
And
saying is
so
that
my
we
interest.
don't have that information. Greenville
But
County does.
it should be a traffic study available to the public if SCDOT is requiring it. And I suspect with that size, there's going to be a traffic study.
If they're not willing to provide it to us, we'll have to FOIA it from DOT and we can run that through our,
Yeah. I mean,
we can run that through our model.
We can go back and do it. Just having done this for a while, I don't anticipate much changing, but to check the box, we can check the box.
Yeah.
Part,
We need to
excuse
know.
me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
Issues with lack of right-of-way, as well as grades that provide widening challenges
Okay.
to keep in mind, and also that the 2% growth more than accommodates the apartments.
All righty.
And that's coming, I mean,
We-
that's coming from the traffic engineer. from-
Understand.
from the county, yeah.
Well, all right. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. Thank you, Ms. Gamble. Any other questions?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Did you bring your environmental engineer with you?
I didn't.
Okay. So maybe staff can help me with this just a little. I see the habitat assessment was done in January. And I'm fully aware that a lot of those species are dormant in January. So I do not see how they could be detected. There is some notation that, you know, this site could have, but there's not anything specified. And at the end of the day, you can't see it. That's kind of like doing a traffic study on Christmas Day. And the animal species, the bats, the birds, they migrate. The bats especially do, so they wouldn't be there either. We're just looking at, is this property, is the soil, is the makeup, could it attract those species? My concern is there may be something there we didn't see in January for sure, even though whoever's doing the study I'm certain they know what they're looking for. Our due diligence, given this was done in January. And again, I know that they did what they were supposed to with the appropriate time.
So this typically gets reviewed by the Land Development Division in accordance with their land disturbance permit as well. So when they go if the
So we could add that as a condition.
you could, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Soliloquies. Mr. Moore?
Ms. Phillips, would you add that as a condition?
She just said she would.
You would? How about I make a motion we approve with a couple of conditions. One, the one she brought up, and one that the.
Do the mic, speak to the microphone for
Sorry.
their sake, please.
I make a motion that we approve with a couple of conditions. One is with the one she brought up, and one that they add the traffic from the apartment complex to the study and do the work, if any, is required. At the corner of McConnell and St. Mark's on the east side, if you want to know the specific area. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. But if there is, it should be taken care of.
You okay with that, Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that, Mr. Moore?
I hope so.
Try to.
I make a motion we approve with the conditions that Ms. Phillips brought forward, and a condition that the traffic study at that intersection on the east side, McConnell and St. Mark's, includes all the traffic that's coming from that apartment complex and the rest of coming from that direction in the traffic study. If there's a requirement for something to be changed, it gets changed. If not, there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
May I also ask if you're willing to add as well the staff conditions here
Yes.
related to the traffic
No.
study?
Absolutely, your conditions as well.
And also the updates that were made to the plan?
Right, the Article 22
Already-
updates as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
And Ms. Phillips,
need to
for Julie's sake,
Yes.
she wanted an update, what,
No, so,
when a permitting?
before permitting, and I would like to add to that, done between, hold on, I'm looking. Between the months of March and August.
Of this
You mean the updated environmental study?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prior to land disturbance.
You okay with that, Julie?
Perfect. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. All right. Can I get a second for all of that?
I might as
Oh,
well
I
second.
made the motion.
He made the motion.
No, I might as well second that.
All righty. Mr. Moore made a motion to approve with staff's conditions, with additional traffic studies that he explained, that I'm not going to try to, that all the Article 22 items are updated on the drawings and the environmental update before land disturbance. And Ms. Phillips made the second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, may I just say something?
Mr. Holland.
Based on what we're hearing, based on, I'm assuming what's about to happen, this is a great case study in why we need to have zoning in the entire county to protect these folks back here and the other landowners that live around this property, because if not this, then, as Mr. Harrison said, 300, 400 apartments are coming.
I like
And there's nothing that can be done to stop it.
the pig slaughterhouse, I like.
Or the pig slaughterhouse, or the chicken house that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So please tell your friends and neighbors, the county's not trying to come in and tell you what you can do with your property, but zoning is a smart idea. It protects you from what may come.
You at least know what you got.
And at least you know what you've moved into. And it takes a large process to make changes to the zoning.
All right, thank you, Mr. Holland.
Might I add to that?
Sure.
Yeah, and I agree, and it's possible that these residents didn't even know about their zoning and until now. And our zoning categories may not be what is ideal for you. It may be something else. But if you live in a neighborhood or a subdivision, established subdivision, that's not going to change, but you can talk to the people around you and your neighbors in your community, and yes, it is definitely something to do as a corroborative community.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Effort.
Motion on the floor is to approve. All in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, raise your hand. All right, now it's approved 5-4. Mr. Carlisle, planning report.
Good evening, planning commissioners. So, real quick summary of the planning report for you. So, in long range, we want to hang on just a second. All right. So, in long range, the Mountain Creek Overlay District held a well-attended community meeting. There were 62 people that turned out to learn more about this overlay district. There was strong stakeholder involvement and direct resident engagement on that draft ordinance. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, but it looks like it's tentatively headed to P&D committee for initiation on May 4th. Is that right?
We're working on that. There's a couple changes that we saw today. I think that's going to be corrected, so I think hopefully we'll be able to move with that being on the May 4th P&D committee meeting for what it'll be is it'll be a memo for initiation for them to have staff go through that process. So
yeah, so you'll be seeing that coming your way soon. Additionally, the Cherokee's Foothills Scenic Highway Corridor Plan, that's Highway 11 up in the northern part of the county. There was an initial public meeting that was held last month as well. More than 30 people turned out and attended that information meeting. It was well received. The information was well received by the community, and there's another meeting planned for May. So we'll let you know when a more firm date is set for that if you're interested in attending. Also, Long Range has been working with the litter, with the county litter teams to develop a new interactive web map, which debuted today, actually, since it's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everybody. Which will allow users to enter and address and instantly view jurisdiction details such as the location of recycling facilities nearby and other resources that can help remove refuse and recycle and so forth in the community. So we're excited that we've been able to support them with that. Lastly, we're also working with multiple departments such as the Redevelopment Authority and Parks and Recreation with design and project development. Those are all still kind of new projects, but we're just want to let you know that we're partnering with some other departments around the county and providing technical assistance and support to them as they go about their projects. We mentioned last month that GPATS was going to have a workshop dealing with some of the funding related to the Woodruff Road bypass project there and some other projects. Addressed cost increases, the need to modify the TIP program to remain financially balanced was specifically what this workshop was about. There was some preliminary direction discussed, like Butler Road will likely proceed. We're committed to that, but there was some discussion about whether to delay Woodruff Road due to cost. No final decision or recommendation was made on that particular point, but that was what was considered going to that point. So GPAT staff continues to work on the LRTP update, so we're moving along with that. And then, of course, the next GPAT's Policy Committee meeting will be May 18th. And then on a happy note, we have a new staff introduction for you. I'm going to turn the time over to Megan for that.
Yeah, so we have a new planner too in subdivision administration. She's here with us tonight. It's Anna Stewart. She did not travel far to join us. She is previously a GPAT staff member, so she worked with transportation planning previously. We're really excited to have her. She's going to be helping us with our financial securities, final plats, and you may even, or likely will, see her presenting to you guys with preliminary plans as well.
Welcome. Could you come up and maybe speak for 15 minutes now on the spot? Okay.
And if you do that, if you see a lot of us start wandering out, don't take it personally.
Definitely not.
Welcome.
All right. You want to go into your
Reports.
resolutions?
Yes. So County Council back in 2023 passed 2 resolutions requesting reports. This first one dealt with comprehensive review and analysis of the county's future land use map and zoning map. That report has been presented to you tonight. It's been presented the past couple of months so you could review it and share your thoughts. Really, just giving a brief overview, the report lays out 2 recommendations. One is to delay future land use map amendments until the 2030 10-year comprehensive plan update, and then no forced or wholesale zoning map changes. Now, I know that there might be some insight that might affect this going down the road as we do our comp plan update and adjust the strategies and so forth that Mr. Moore's leading there. But as of right now, for the future land use map and the zoning map, staff is not recommending any additional wholesale changes at this point. So you all having had a chance to review the report, are there any comments or concerns with this? And if not, we'd ask that you pass this on up to County Council.
If we get a motion to approve and send to County Council. Please.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Mr. Matasevic made a motion to approve, and Ms. Franklin has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor to send resolution number 1948 to County Council, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right.
All right. And then secondly, resolution number 1949, we generated a report following that resolution. It came out around the same time, requesting an annual update, and this represents the annual update for 2025, about septic versus sewer connected subdivisions, units, acreage, so forth. It's a very statistical report. I can go through it if you like, but it's in there for your review, and it's the same thing. Unless there are questions or requests for changes, we'd ask that you pass this up to County Council as well.
I have one question. I didn't explore it in my own research, so I'm going to depend on you.
Okay.
How did the metro expansion around the same time affect those sewer septic data? Do we know?
I personally do not have any information about that. I can phone a friend here if Josh or Megan knows. I do know
When they
that
expanded their boundaries?
I do know that the report talks
Yeah,
pretty heavily.
They also did an expansion. Yes, they did the same year.
Yeah. The report focuses pretty heavily on the provision that required the 1.5 acres requirement for septic and how that's proving really well. But as for the Metro Connects, I don't know that we have that information.
Well, how would Metro expand in their district matter in the sewer versus septic?
Well, because there was sewer available, which meant properties would have been rezoned, which would have meant the amount of 1.5 septic would have gotten less that it would have been required in, right?
It would have driven some changes.
It would have driven changes. There would be more, theoretically,
They-
sewer would be available in more areas.
They've expanded some lines. I got it
Yes,
wrong,
Fountain Inn.
but It's,
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah,
whole
it's
lot,
Fountain Inn.
though.
I know.
Fountain Inn has been expanded.
Uh-huh.
They've come also down Highway 25, south of the connector.
Would that affect your resolution?
No, it doesn't affect the resolution.
All righty. While we're talking.
We can look in.
to see it maybe factored in.
Yeah, we can look into that and definitely account for it in our next year's report. But as for right now,
Okay.
I just have the straight data.
Need a motion to pass this on to county council with our approval.
I make a motion to pass on to county council.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Barham made a motion and to approve. Mr. Holland has a second to send this on to county council with our blessings. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Now, this new ordinance, has everybody read it? That I prepared this. I'd like to send it to county council for adoption. It will allow easier townhome development.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, when appropriate, I'd like to.
Sure, go
to,
ahead.
Offer my comments on that. The RM2 through RM20 district under section 5.6, it states that these residential districts are established to provide varying population densities. The principal use of land is for one family, two family, multiple family dwellings and recreational, religious, and educational facilities normally associated with residential development. If we go exactly how it's been presented, that's going to open the doors not just for townhomes, but for any property that is RM to be rezoned.
I'm going to submit an ordinance 2 days from now
Okay.
that will solve. Right now, you can build single-family houses in RM zoning. It's the silliest damn thing I've ever seen. It should have never been there. I don't understand why it's there, and that's the one I'm going to submit the next ordinance
I
next
think we
month
saw one tonight with sheep on it.
to. Oh, you had to go down that road again. So, no, I'm quite aware of the problem, and I hope to
And
fix it.
with that amendment, let me just also state that will put, I would say, possibly, and don't hold me to numbers, but a third of Greenville County zoning in noncompliance and nonconformity.
Oh, I
Because
understand
we've
that.
got hundreds and thousands of homes that are single-family detached homes that are zoned RM2 through RM20 and RMA. That's going to make it very difficult for staff and for the Board of Zoning Appeals to, if a home wants to expand, if a home that is in RM2 wants to add an addition to their home, they'll have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals to seek approval. And so right now, the Board of Zoning Appeals is seeing about 10 to 13 cases a month. These meetings are lasting around 4 hours, so it would exponentially increase that. My
Could we not say
suggestion-
something to the next amendment, saying that any house, it's grandfathered in?
It doesn't work that way. The way that would work is those would be legally non-conforming, and the zoning ordinance under Article 9 states that any non-conforming property, any expansion of a non-conforming structure or property requires approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So you would have to do a text amendment to Article 9 removing that, but that causes another issue. So this just precipitates issue after issue. So my request would be that, to continue to allow the single-family detached in the RM, but put leave the 7,500 square foot minimum lot size for that, but add, if you wanted to add the 1,500 for attached, add that in there.
This seems like this has got a lot of unintended consequences. It doesn't seem like we need to be looking at it tonight and voting on anything related to this. This thing needs a lot more sunlight, a lot more study, a lot more evaluation.
For years, the only way they could do townhomes was cluster. And then they could not efficiently use all the land for affordable type housing. This was all this was meant to fix.
Well,
It was a typo years ago. I don't know why it's 7,500, but they say in
I don't
Paul-
think it was a typo, Mr. Chairman, because it clearly says that one-family dwellings were permitted in RM2.
I understand that, but for years, they could only do townhomes in cluster. And now there's a moratorium. So now there's no townhomes unless you do review districts. And you could have brought some of this up to me last week when you sent the other email.
It was discussed. I mean, I provided those comments to
Oh.
Draper. I think that was provided to you.
All you said to me was you wanted 1,800 versus 1,500. That's all the email I got.
No, I think.
I don't mind.
And we can go back and pull up that email, but I'm pretty sure that I specifically stated that it's going to cause that issue.
Not the RM, no. I'm old, I ain't that old. Mr. Hammond, we can sit on this, but I mean, we wanted to start sending in text amendments from the Planning Commission. I mean, that's one of our jobs is to do that, and this was going to be the first one. And again, like I said, it just didn't work like I thought it would work.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Moore.
Would you agree to hold it to the next meeting so we've got both of them to look at?
Well, I hope
Yep.
to make these amendments to try to satisfy staff before the next meeting.
All
So,
right.
I mean, we're not,
Do that as well.
I'm not even going to ask for a vote. So, I mean, there's no reason at the moment. I don't think we need a vote to hold if I just retract it. Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Would you prefer a vote?
No, he brought up a point that I was going to take care of next month, but I didn't realize half of Greenville County was screwed up. And I hate to say it that way. To do single family, why does single family in multifamily? Why? That's not the whole design for zoning.
I'm not going to argue with that.
It's less,
I'm not going to argue with that, but I will say that that's been the process that Greenville County has offered that, to offer that provision to allow for RM, to allow, that density.
You used to do single family and commercial, and we got that shot down.
We've yes and no. It's still permitted, but it's permitted conditionally with a mixed-use development.
Right, mixed
but-
use. But still, now, the same thing could be said about all the houses that are now built in commercial. Do
And
they have
we-
to go to BZA
Yes,
now?
sir.
I see.
We have one coming up that is zoned C1. They want to add a back bedroom. They're going to have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
then they'll have to come to us.
There's got to be a way legally.
No, it won't have to come to y'all because the way it works is any
Is
property
zoning.
if the property is zoned C2 and there's a house on it, as long as that property never ceases from being a house, then it can continue being a house forever and ever. But Article 9 says for nonconformities that if any nonconformity is expanded, it can only be expanded by approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals. And so that's what these issues are, is these are non-conforming properties because the use is not permitted.
These are all things that need to be fixed very, very badly.
You can't, how can you can't fix that. You can't just, there's no way.
Give me.
We would
some
have to
time.
rezone all the properties.
Pen and paper.
Force rezone.
Why couldn't you put some exemptions in the zoning ordinance that said if they want to change or alter the residence in this zoning, and if it's existing, you should be able to add a room to it. Without going to all this.
I'm not saying that's not doable, but that would be a text amendment that would need to be done to another section of the ordinance, which would be Article 9.
We need to work to get them changed, and it might have to be rolled into one.
That's fine. I will look into that. The only other thing I have on my list is I'd like to inform everyone that Jim Moore is now the ad hoc nominations chairman for that committee. Everybody who wants to submit recommendations or, what's my word? Getting tired. Nominations, thank you, for chairman and vice chair for next month's elections, submit it to Mr. Moore. And he'll compile them, he'll get with staff as far as balloting, and we'll go over all that later. So, Mr. Moore is the ad hoc nomination committee chair. Any other new business?
Just a quick one.
It better be.
It will. I just want to say thanks to staff. I've had a lot of interactions the last couple of weeks with you guys, and in particular, some of the data I've been asking for. I've gotten it, and also when we had questions about it, it was quick and easy to get it straightened out and very responsive. So I just want to say thanks to all the staff here and not here. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Mr. Moore?
One other comment. I think we've seen here the need for many of our ordinances and regulations to get a major modification, as well as from the training we got last week, probably looking at the comprehensive plan again. Because as we were informed, comprehensive plan informs the other pieces, and right now there is a huge disconnect, as just described, as well as issues with things being too vague, as we found out in the TIS. So I think there's going to be a challenge for this group in the coming months to start making, at least plug the big holes, and think about how do we manage this in a longer term between now and 2030 when we have to have another comprehensive plan. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I don't disagree with a lot of the comments on current ordinances not being the most effective. You can keep putting duct tape and baling wire and anything else, tire plugs, whatever you want to in this zoning ordinance. It's an old, cobbled together, tired zoning ordinance, and I see Mr. Henderson nodding his head. I'm not going back and saying the UDO was perfect.
No, far from it.
But unless the county, the planning commission, council, staff want to adopt an attitude to look at a broader revamp of the entire code, this group, other groups are going to spend hour after hour after hour figuring out ways to cobble together the next change to the zoning ordinance and the unintended consequences that come from it. So unless we're going to take the time and the effort and the courage to look at a new zoning code, these discussions will be going on until the end of time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
reasonable.
And they will be with the UDO as well. If you did you read it?
I've read it cover to cover.
No, I don't.
I'd like Draper to share with the Planning Commission about our famous assistant administrator who's going to be recognized, please.
That's right. That's a good point. Probably should have brought this up. So Hisha has been recognized as one of the top 10 public works leaders. Yeah, thank you. It's in the nation, I believe it is. And she's being honored May 19th at County Council, and then she'll actually receive the award later this year, but that's coming, and we're very proud of her as our boss. So
yeah,
she's a good example to all of us, and we appreciate her hard work.
Congratulations, if you're still listening to us. We done? Any new business? Any old?